Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today I am going to be starting another new release thriller vlog. In this video, I'm going to be reading The It Girl by Ruth Ware, I'll Be You by Janelle Brown, All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers, and The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. I am so excited to get started with these books. I know you guys love these vlogs. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Currently, this morning, I started The It Girl by Ruth Ware. And I'm 25% in. I just read a little bit this morning during breakfast, and then I got the audio that I had on while I was on the treadmill, and I really like it. I don't think it's as bad as the reviews are saying. Basically, in this book, we are following these English posh children, or young adults really, who are at Oxford, and this is happening in the past. So a decade ago, all of these kids were at Oxford and the It Girl in their group was murdered. Our main character that we're following was allegedly a witness to this attack and put the person who she allegedly saw murdering her best friend behind bars. Now, in the present, 10 years later, that man has died in prison, and the friend group is coming to grips with the fact that he might have been innocent and discovering who actually committed this murder, while uncovering dark secrets and friendship dynamics along the way. I am really liking the way that the story is unfolding. Something about Ruth Ware's writing style just really speaks to me. There's like a gothic coziness that I think is perfect for this time of year. I think if you're a fan of The Maidens by Alex Michaelides or In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, if you like both of those books, you will definitely like this one, because this book is basically like putting those two together. You have the murder that happened when the people were at school, and now it's a decade later and you're investigating. And then there's also a couple aspects from The Maidens where you have like a professor who's a male and he's like feeling kind of predatory, and he has this group of star pupils that happen to be all young, attractive girls, and I'm super suspicious of him at this point, but obviously no spoilers. I'm not going to confirm or deny if my theory is correct or not, but it's definitely giving me those vibes, especially with the school dark academia style setting. It's very similar to those two books, so if you like those, pretty safe to say you will like this one. But I know those two got very mixed reviews, so I understand why not a lot of people are liking this one. It would make sense for people who don't like those to not like this as well. I gave The Maidens 4 stars and In My Dreams I Hold a Knife 5 stars. So this one I really like so far, just with the atmosphere. I'm not that far in. Like I said, I'm only a quarter of the way, so it could definitely slow down and annoy me at this point. But for now, I'm liking it. I am going to go ahead and make myself some lunch, get ready for the day, do some work, and I will let you know when I get to the 50% mark. Hey vlog, my work day is done. I'm at the about like 43% mark of The It Girl. Honestly, not much of an update other than I really like the before chapters a lot better than the present day, like after chapters. So that's something. I just prefer following kids at a school rather than just like a woman about town. I don't really care about her. But I am about to go meet my friend for a little happy hour, and she lives in a town about an hour away, so I'm about to binge at least 4 hours of the audiobook on my way there and back. So I will have an update for you, I'm sure. I'm flying through this one. A lot of people said it's slow paced, but I feel like the audio is just so quaint and cozy to have in the background of my day. Oh my god, also, I got these little Ouija earrings. Look at how cute. I'm obsessed. So, gonna go see her, and hopefully I remember to take B-roll. If I don't know, fire me. Good morning vlog. It is the next day. I have already been up working on wedding stuff and having wedding consultations all morning. So it's been a stressful morning. I know it's like, wow, wedding's so fun, so nice. No, it is so goddamn expensive. It's literally insane. So that's what I've been up to this morning. But I did want to take a moment and update you on the It Girl, because last night I got to about the 65% mark. I can see how people say that this is dragging. I totally get that. I think this book is way too long. The thing is, I'm enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying the after chapters now too, because Hannah, the main character that we're following, is doing a lot of investigation of her own, and she's now suspecting her husband of possibly being the murderer, which I think that adds such an interesting element. So now I'd say I'm enjoying the before and after chapters equally as well, but it is really slow. Like, this is a long book with a lot of information. For me, I enjoy the information. I think it's a good story, so it doesn't really bother me too much, but I definitely am seeing that critique. So for the rest of the day, I have sessions tonight, but before my sessions, I literally have to go do all this stuff with my car. I don't know about you, but I think that is the most annoying thing ever. Like, a car should not need to be washed. A car should not need to have oil change or alignment or any of that bullshit. No, a car should just be a car. It's thousands of dollars, and you telling me I still have to spend more? Being an adult is a scam. It's a scam. Buying a car is a scam. Renting an apartment is a scam. It's all a scam. Money is fake. Currency is a construct. No, so I have to go do that, but hopefully while I'm waiting in the car place, I can get a good chunk of this book read, because y'all know they take forever. So that's the plan. I'm gonna make my little coffee and get ready to go to the car place. Hello vloggy vlog. So I after I did all the car stuff, had 1,000,001 wedding meetings. This wedding planning is just getting to be a lot. It feels like another full-time job, but during the course of, you know, waiting in Zoom lobbies and waiting in the freaking car place, I finished The It Girl by Ruth Ware. I have some mixed feelings about the ending. I did like the way things unfolded. I thought it was, you know, a good ending. I didn't have an issue with it, but it took so long to get there. And I thought for the amount of time that we spend like figuring out these little pieces, it was gonna be all explained in this nice little bow and all like so intricate and interesting because, you know, we collected all these pieces, so why not put them all together at the end? And I feel like a lot of the things that we spent so much time on were just red herrings rather than leading up to this big conclusion, which made me feel like a lot of it was a waste of time. I didn't really understand the purpose of a lot of the pieces of the book. So I ended up giving it a 3.5 out of 5 stars in my review. I don't think this is a bad book. I think it's definitely entertaining. I loved the audiobook too. If you just want something like British and cozy and kind of dark academia vibes to have on in the background, I think it'd be great for that. I didn't want to give it a 4-star though because it is so long, and towards the end, the before chapters go kaput and it's all after, and that was kind of a slog to get through. The dual timeline I really liked, and once it switches to just the one, it did drag a bit. So 3.5, not a bad book, not the best book I've ever read. It was fine. Now I have started I'll Be You by Janelle Brown. I started this during lunch and I'm only about 10% of the way through, but I'm really liking the vibes. I feel like this is a very unique thriller. This is about two twins who have always switched off their entire lives. They like did this thing where it's like, I'll be you, you be me. And they would literally switch lives and nobody knew which twin was which. And now I feel like they're doing it on a bigger scale. I feel like that's what it's leading up to. Like maybe one of the twins is gonna snatch the other one's life. I think that's what's gonna happen. I'm not sure at this point. So obviously this isn't a spoiler. This is just conjecture. But one of the twins has gone missing, and so the other one is called in by mom and dad like, hey, what the hell is going on here? And another complicating factor to the story is that they were both child stars, and they both handled child stardom very differently. And I think it's so interesting just hearing about that. It's obvious that a lot of the inspiration in here came from like Full House with the Olsen twins, because they were obviously two little twins who played one little girl character, and that is exactly what they did. They were on this like 90s sitcom for adults, but had this very funny child with cute little catchphrases that they both played, and there's reruns on of it all the time. Like it's very much giving these are the Olsen twins in the book, which I've never read about child stars in a fictional account. So I really like it. It's really interesting, especially following up from last month or earlier this month, whenever I read I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. It just adds a new layer. Like I feel like I know some of the reality of it. So the fiction doesn't seem so far off. It actually feels really believable. Yeah, I just really like those aspects. So I am, about 10% of the way through. I'm liking it. I don't have too many opinions, but I'm gonna keep on reading this one and let you know probably an update maybe before I go into sessions. I don't know. Today's kind of busy all over the place. I hate when I have like things scheduled at like 9 and then 11 and then 1 and then 3. It's like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this time in between? I don't know. So my day feels very chaotic, but that's kind of what I have going on. Hopefully this one gives a little bit more than she gave. Update from me and Boba. Boba's sleeping on the squish. This is a cult book. I fucking hate cult books. They're all the same. Basically, the sister, I'm pretty sure, is caught in a cult. And now I have chihuahuas attacking me. So anyway, I feel like this is gonna go downhill. I was so loving the child actor vibes, but now the cult vibes are coming in to ruin it. This is heartbreaking. I know, Mochi. I know.
Waking up today, I feel so lucky. Nervous. Excited.
Hi, vlog. It's obviously the next day. I have had a crazy busy morning. I'm sure you can see the pink package back there. We have Precious cargo. I just picked up my wedding dress. That is her. I'm so excited. I got to try her on and I don't even know what alterations they're gonna have to do. It literally fits like a glove. It is perfect. I'm so obsessed. I just got a pumpkin chai because obviously, my best friend Venmo'd me so I could get a chai. Not because I'm broke, but because she's nice. So that's where I'm at right now. But I did, on my driving around and running errands this morning, I did make it to the 50% mark of I'll Be You because I found the audio through my library. So I am just now getting to the point where the Bitch I'm Gonna Snatch Your Life storyline is coming in. I was afraid this was just gonna be a cult thriller. Y'all know I don't love that. So I was like, are we sure? Are we sure this is the direction it's gonna go? But now our main character is realizing like, my sister might just be in this fucking cult, so I'm gonna steal her life, which is exactly what I expected. So I'm excited to finally get into a plot that's interesting to me. Not that it so far has been boring, it hasn't. It's just like cults don't really interest me that much, but I do like the whole child actor storyline, like flashing back to the past when they used to like be each other when they were kids and acting. I think that's really interesting. So I'm definitely liking it more than my last check-in when I was just pissed about it being about a cult. I'm gonna listen to more. Hopefully I will have some time to physically read it today before my sessions. I've had like only night sessions this week and I have night sessions tomorrow. I have early sessions on Friday, but whatevs. Just a lot of work. But I'll let you know when I have an update for you. Hey guys, I made lunch, I did some work, and now I'm back reading I'll Be You. And I'm at the 75% mark. I'm speeding through this. It's so easy to read, but the perspective has switched to the other twin. So now we know the deal with her. We know where she's at. We know what's happening, but they're both pretending to be each other in different ways. I don't know. It's just like very convoluted. It's easy to understand, but I'm like, why did it have to be this way? Like, there is a way that this plot could have gone that I think would have made it so much better. It's just like pulling me back and forth and back and forth. Like one chapter I'll read and I'm like, oh my God, this is going in a really fun direction. I'm so excited to see what happens with this. And then the next chapter, it's just like they don't go to the place that it said it was going to go to and it does something completely different that I don't like. So I don't know. I'm very back and forth with this book. I'm going to have to finish it and see how everything comes together and then let you know my final thoughts. Hello vlog. It is much later. I'm about to run out to my sessions tonight, but before I do, I just wanted to give you my review of I'll Be You by Janelle Brown. I'm gonna give this book 2.5 out of 5 stars. Honestly, it was just so very average that that's where I had to land. There are other thrillers that you could get a lot more out of that had better twists. This one was just very meh, very average, literally 2.5 stars right down the middle. It wasn't a bad book at all, but it wasn't anything to write home about. It's nothing that I'm going to remember. I'm sure I'm gonna forget the entire plot of this book by the time I sit down and do my wrap up. And maybe it's just me because I don't love a cult storyline, but it felt really tired and just not creative. I don't know. I did not love it. So that's kind of where I am with this book. There's not much to say other than it was just so painfully average. I don't think you need to waste money on this. I don't think this is something you need to go run out and read. I honestly enjoyed The It Girl a lot more, even though this one was much faster paced and shorter. I feel like that story from The It Girl was so much more interesting than this. I really like the background and the character development, but once we stopped flashing back to past timelines, the current timeline just did not interest me at all. The end kind of tied up in a nice little bow that I felt like was very convenient. So I don't know. I feel like if you like benign thrillers that aren't gritty or twisty at all, that just have this like little meandering mystery plotline, and if you like cults, maybe you would like this. But for the people who read like me, this is definitely not one that you need to run out and get. All right. The next book that I'm going to be picking up is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. I have no idea what it's about other than it's dark, it's gritty, it's twisty. All my friends are giving it 5 stars and I want to go in blind. So I'm going to be starting my book club book tonight. I'm so excited to start it, and I will let you know when I have thoughts. Hello vlog, I'm about to head out to my sessions, but I wanted to give you a quick first impressions of The Last Housewife. I started it last night and I got, 30 pages in. So just an initial first impression. I am really enjoying it. I love the writing style. I feel like you can feel the emotions behind every sentence. Every sentence is very intentional. There's this like undercurrent of feminine rage is the best way I can describe it, and I absolutely love it. But it's not so serious all the time because there are those a little glitzy, glamoury, rich people drama moments in the book as well. Those little descriptions of like the pool and a lounge and a bikini where it's just like, oh my God, she's rich. And it's giving me everything that I need. So initial synopsis in case you're wondering, or if you didn't read it because you were feeling like it would be triggering, if you're worried this is going to be triggering based on what people are saying. Basically, this woman is just a rich housewife and she's listening to a true crime podcast one day, and she actually knows the guy who's the host of the podcast, but they're not close. She just like knows him, kind of creep vibes that she like tangentially knows him and then consumes his content. That's like when I think about the people that tangentially know me and watch my videos. Yeah, the police need to come and get him. That is terrifying. And one day she's listening to this podcast and he's talking about her college roommate's murder. Well, it looks like a suicide, but he thinks it's a murder. And he basically calls her out on the podcast and is like, if you're my former friend who's listening to this and you want to come help me and be a part of this investigation and you want to talk, let me know. And she has this moment, she drops her nail polish in the pool and she's like, he's talking about me. Oh my God. So this housewife is about to get caught up in this whole true crime scenario. I'm so excited just based off that initial like 10% of the book that I read. I know I'm gonna love it. So I'm excited to get into more, but have to run to work. I will let you know later on what I'm thinking if I get a chance to read more of this. I was gonna check out the audio, but I honestly really wanna read this physically since it's a book club pick. I feel like I need to like take my time and marinate with it. So that's the plan. Hello vlog, it is after my sessions. I just literally bought a mirror. It's huge, it's beautiful. I cannot wait to show it to you, but I bought it off Facebook Marketplace, so that was so cool. I've never bought anything off there before. I have a mirror! And I think I'm gonna go pick up a day bed in a few days. We're like, the move is happening, it's real, we're in the midst of it. I'm so excited! So I just had to make like an hour-long drive to go pick this shit up. So I'm probably gonna explore this little town just a little bit while I'm down here, and then we're gonna go home and get ready for night sessions. Y'all, I am a little over a third of the way done with The Last Housewife, and it's sucking me in. I'm getting that feeling where I'm reading and flipping pages and not keeping track of the pages that I'm reading because I'm just so in the story. The podcast chapters are so good. I love hearing about like the dark underbelly of rich people. All of the like kink stuff is so interesting to me. I love this. I love this. I need to know what's happening. I need to know some clarification on what's going on with this man, this older man. Oh my God. This book is good. I am so excited to keep reading it, and I'm so pissed that I have sessions tonight because I just want to keep reading this book. Hello vlog, it is the next day. I ended up after work last night just going to my maid of honor, my best friend's house, and seeing her new house, and we just like hung out there and drank wine. So I did not do much reading, but I did do some reading today after my sessions were over. So I got to about the 2/3 mark in The Last Housewife. I am loving it. It's giving intrigue, it's giving dark, it's giving like documentary. Like it feels like this is real. It feels like I'm along for this investigative ride, and there is so much intrigue. I'm always wondering what's going on, how it can get darker, how it can get wilder. And I just cannot wait to see all of the connections come together because I have no predictions. I have no idea. This book is keeping me on the edge of my seat so well that I cannot even fathom what could happen next. So I really want to finish this book, but I have people coming over tonight. Me and Cameron are hosting a little game night, which we do every couple weeks. We're gonna play some games, have some drinkies, and just have a good time. So I'm going to go do that, and I might stay up late and binge the rest of this book. If I do, you're gonna get my full review tomorrow, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to find out what happens. What you think of football?
Me?
Yeah.
Like my thoughts on the game?
Yeah. What do you?
We're fumbling a lot. We could do a lot better.
Period.
He's turned the ball over yet. Well, we did throw an interception, but that didn't really affect.
I don't know about sports. We don't know about sports.
Period.
Hello vlog. It is Sunday morning. I didn't talk to you at all yesterday. I just filmed some B-roll while we were out because we were having a fun little Saturday. But this morning I stayed in bed. It was a nice luxurious Sunday morning. I finished The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. I just flew through this book. I feel like I didn't even give updates because I was just tearing through this book. It is so good. Every free second that I had, I was thinking about this book, wanting to read this book, or picking up the book. I mean, it was just so well done. I cannot wait for the discussion, the Patreon discussion that I'm gonna have with you guys. Oh my God, this is the perfect book club pick. It was definitely dark, but it was such an easy 5-star because of the commentary in there. It is so needed. And if this scares you, looking at this reality scares you, I mean, it should. It should scare you, but it should also be something that we can tolerate and we can look at, because if you're a woman living this every day, to me, this wasn't that dark compared to the things that I've lived through that I felt so seen and represented in this book. It like almost makes me emotional. It is so good. Ashley Winstead's writing style is phenomenal. It is beautiful. Her literary references are perfection. I don't know if I will ever read a more well done feminist thriller. This feels like the same way that I felt about Pretty Girls, where you get sucked in and you just don't ever want to come out because it feels so comfortable in the dark, if that makes sense. That is how I felt in Pretty Girls. There was something that made me feel so seen about that book, and the characters felt so tangible and real, and I felt the exact same way in this book. This is easily in my top 10 favorite books of the year. Yet again, 2 years in a row, Ashley Winstead has made her way into my top 10 of the entire year. I feel very confident saying that at this point. I love this book so much. I could rave about it all day long. I really think if you pick up anything from this video, it's got to be this one. Easy 5-star, beautiful cover, even more beautiful inside, just phenomenal. And I feel like this is the best done podcast thriller that I've read. I tend to be on the fence about podcasts. I don't really love them. It feels really forced and overdone, especially because it is so common now, but I did not feel that way in this one. It didn't feel like a podcast was just added for trendiness. It really added to the story. And the final book that I'm gonna pick up for this video is All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. I know very little going in. I know that the author hosts a true crime podcast herself in real life. So 2 podcast thrillers back to back. I'm definitely going to do a direct comparison there. But I've heard that this book is heavily inspired by the JonBenet Ramsey case, which lives in my mind rent-free. I have so many theories and I will just never have peace until I know what happened with that. And we probably maybe never will. I know there's some like new evidence that came out, but yeah, I am super excited to start this one, and when I have thoughts, I will let you know. Right now, I'm going to get my nails redone because as you can see, they are looking quite rough. So I'm going to go get my nails done, stick on my little audiobook, and have a little time. When I have thoughts, you'll see me again. Hi vlog, we just drove an hour to pick up a day bed off Facebook Marketplace, but it's gonna look so good in my library. So I'm gonna have a cute little place to read in the library, and people can sleep over at our house because we always have people coming from out of town and they usually have to stay on the couch. Now they have a nice little day bed to sleep on in the library. Also, I'm making pumpkin chocolate oat cookies from Trader Joe's. So cute, so yummy, so fall. Hello vlog, it's me and Boba. We're up late. The boys went to bed, but as you can probably hear in the background, I had some laundry to finish. So we are staying up late and listening to the audio of All Good People Here, and I totally see the connection to the JonBenet Ramsey case. Basically, we're following someone who was a little girl at the same time that this other little girl in the town went missing, and we're flashing back and forth in the 90s when the little girl was killed, and then present day when the girl who survived is all grown up and she is investigating the case. I thought this was going to be a podcast thriller. It's not. The investigative journalist is just that. She's like more of a journalist, not as much of a podcaster, although she is recording the interviews, but it's not done in a podcast style, which I appreciate. I think that is just very oversaturated right now in thrillers. So yeah, I am really liking the flashback chapters, like hearing what things might have conceivably been like, looked like, sounded like with the JonBenet case is very intriguing, and also just like collecting clues and like the commentary on the police and all of that I like. But then when we go to present day, like the whole investigation thing, not my favorite kind of plot line. So that's kind of how I'm sitting about 30% into the book. I'm gonna keep listening, finish my laundry, and hopefully get to sleep at a decent hour. Good morning, vlog. It's the next day. It is so early. I have been up for so long just doing work, but luckily a lot of that work was mindless, so I could have my audiobook on. So I'm actually a little bit past the 50% mark. This book is really fast paced. I feel like you just really want to know what's happening, and the audiobook is really well done, so it's just easy to listen to. Love, love, love the sapphic romance. Okay, that was a surprise. Did not expect that. It's not a big part of the plot, but I just liked it. I don't know if there's any lore or reason why that would be there based on the Jean Bonnet case, which this is obviously based on. I don't know, but I liked it. Also, this is the thing that I'm not as excited about, because I do like the overall story, but knowing that the author has a true crime podcast, and like, I have weird feelings about true crime, we know that, it just feels like this is the fictional account of what she wanted to happen with Jean Bonnet, and knowing that these are actual real people that she's based her characters on, some of it just feels icky and gross. I think, what are you doing? Boba is trying to eat a leaf off my freaking tree. I think it's just kind of icky. I don't know, something about it I don't love. Just knowing that, it feels like you can hear a lot of the author's voice and personal opinions through the book. And I'm figuring out this year that I don't love that. When you just know what an author's thinking and feeling. Like, I would like to see the characters and have things play out and make my own opinions, but because you're telling me what you think is gonna happen, like, it takes me out of the story and it annoys me. It feels like you're trying to convince me of some type of propaganda, and I'm not a sheep. Like, something about it I just don't like. So that's the tea. I am going to get going, take the dogs on a walk, go to the gym, start my day, and hopefully along the way I'll be able to finish the book and give you guys final thoughts. Okay, vlog, hello. I am here to tell you my final thoughts on All Good People Here. I finished it honestly so quick, like less than 12 hours, I believe it took me to read this book. It was so fast paced, and once you start reading, you definitely want to keep reading to know what happens. I finished the audio while I was at the gym and getting ready, and I was on the edge of my seat. At one point I was doing my mascara and I was like, and I just sat there with my mascara wand, like, because I could not believe the twists and turns in this book. I definitely did not predict the ending at all, and I loved the way the story was constructed. I think it's a really great thriller if you don't look at it too deeply, but I did end up rating it 4 stars instead of 5, because while I enjoyed my time reading it, there were 2 things that really held me back from counting it as a favorite or widely recommending it, and that is one of the ending plot lines was a cliffhanger. How are you gonna do that? Like, the whole murder of the little girls was explained, but there was one part of the story that was left on a cliffhanger. There was somebody who was trying to escape from somewhere, and we don't know if they actually made it out alive. And for me, that just gave no closure to the story. I'm fine with a little ominous, like, something that leaves me on edge at the end of a thriller, as long as I have closure for like all the main characters that we're supposed to really care about. And that was the piece that was left in the cliffhanger. So I felt very odd about that, although I don't mind the way that it was done. If that was the way cliffhanger was going to be in the plot, I would have preferred it's tie up that one loose end, because it felt like lazy writing. And the other thing is something that I touched on a little bit earlier, and that is just the way that this entire plot felt very unoriginal. It was obviously heavily influenced by Ashley Flowers, one of her favorite favorite, even saying favorite, cases, and I felt like I wouldn't have this icky feeling if this plot was completely original, but just knowing that there are real people's lives that she is kind of speculating about and playing on the emotions of, it just gave me an icky feeling that held me back from giving it a higher rating. But again, if you don't look at those things too deeply, I think you can really enjoy this book because the plot was structured really well and it was always keeping me on my toes, sucking me in and bringing me back to reading the book. So overall, not too bad. Honestly, we really didn't have any major flops in this vlog for once, thank God. There were things that I liked and things that I didn't love about every single book, but for the most part, I think there's an audience for all of them, except for The Last Housewife. That one is perfect and amazing and everyone should read it. There's nothing wrong with it. So that is gonna be it for today's new release thriller reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it and you added at least one of these to your TBR. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and read a book and go to therapy this week. I will see you next time. Bye!